What's up, gang? Welcome. Amanda Nybert, registered dietitian. Wanted to jump on really quick tonight to talk about the key to your success in 2022. It's actually the key to your success for the rest of your life when it comes to your health and wellness. And it is what I'm deeming your word for the year. That I hope that you write out on a Post-it note and post it everywhere, and that is consistency. So regardless of what health and wellness endeavor that you've jumped in today, tomorrow, this week, this month, I hope that you take this small piece of advice to heart throughout your entire journey, and that is consistency. I think whenever you look back at attempts to improve your health and where you succeeded and then where you failed or struggled, it is the difference between consistency and the lack of consistency. And I always say that there are pivotal moments in our lives that cause us to get derailed. And it's typically these moments in which we can't be perfect. It's a divorce. It's a loss of a job. It's a tragic event, a house fire. It's a sick family member. It's something like that where you're unable to put your focus solely on you because there's all these other external factors that are creating stress and emotion, that instead of in that moment finding the ability to do something to create some sort of consistency, we just kind of give up. It's like we can't shoulder it all. And I challenge you throughout the next 12 months to think about every day as your opportunity to do something consistently. And I kind of shared in my stories earlier today, I kind of left the holiday season feeling the best I've ever felt in a really long time. I mean, just like you, I typically use, November and December as an excuse to overindulge, drink a lot of alcohol, fall off track with my workouts because I'll just start fresh in January. And I made a conscious decision at the 1st of October to work on just being consistent, not perfect, still finding the ability to enjoy myself, but find consistency in the things that I know matter the most to my health and well-being, and see what happened. And it worked. It really worked. I didn't track. I didn't, carb cycle. I didn't fast for 16 hours every single day. But I did a lot of healthy things consistently. And that's what I want you guys to realize, is that it's not about doing it all perfectly. It's about consistency. So really think about that as you're moving through the next month. Now, today was easy, right? Today's day one of 2022, right? And I'm a living proof of the scenario in which I've been plopped in, of why it would be easy to say, you know what, I'm going to start next week. But you know what? I'm not going to start next week. I'm going to do the best I can, and start today. And it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than nothing. And I'll tell you, one of the things that really helped me over the last 3 months to assess my consistency, because sometimes it's like you think you're consistent, but you're really not. And that is, the Lean Habit Tracker. So yes, I brought my habit tracker on vacation with me. Thank the Lord, because I'm starting off still in my vacation destination. And so I've got my habits already listed out for January that I want to be consistent. And I want to talk about this a little bit. A couple of things. Number one, you don't need to be consistent with 20 different things, okay? And I think that that's where people fail when they utilize this type of resource. If you're in the Lean program, the monthly membership, download this. It's in the portal. You don't even need to buy this fancy planner, even though this is awesome. It's accessible to you. You can even DM me and I'll email you a free copy, because I want you guys to have this resource. But your ability to really check off and look at the end of the month, how consistent was I with hitting my protein goal? That's a big one for me. It made a huge difference over the last 3 months. How consistent was I with consuming enough electrolyte water? How consistent was I with making sleep a priority? And some things I did really good and some things I did really bad. Let's see. If I look at last month's, which I kind of stopped tracking when I hit vacation, so it's probably incomplete. But there were a couple of things. There's one thing that I don't think I hit any day. And that was walking after dinner, So I made that a goal in December because I knew I was going to be eating a lot of discretionary foods. Walking after a meal can significantly impact your blood sugar response. So maybe you do nothing over the next 30 days, but take a 10-minute walk after every meal. It will matter. It's like the small things that really add up. And long-term success is about creating a lifestyle, a habit lifestyle. And that's why one of the things that I'm really encouraging my lean clients to do this week is to not make radical food shifts, okay? One gal, said in the group, okay, I'm going to the grocery store today. What do I buy? And I'm like, girl, buy what you normally buy. Think of a couple meals that you normally cook, all right? If you go to the grocery store and you buy all the fresh fruits and vegetables, I promise you, you're gonna throw them away on Saturday because you're not gonna use them and they're gonna go bad. And then you're gonna be pissed because you're like, look, I buy all this healthy food and then I throw it all away. It's just a waste of money. I can't do this. I give up on day 7. So don't do that, okay? Start with where you are. And that's why I love teaching this macro approach to nutrition. No, tracking is not sustainable. It is not something that I intend for my clients to do forever, but it creates more nutritional awareness than anything that I've ever done with clients. Once you start tracking, especially if you track for a couple of weeks, you realize what the food you're eating and how it impacts kind of the bottom line. All right. So that's like my biggest suggestion for you this week is don't make radical changes in the foods that you're currently consuming, but figure out what the foods you're currently consuming equate to, okay? Where are your deficits? Where are your pluses? Where are your minuses? And what do you need to fill in the gaps? Also, going in like gangbusters today, it's really easy, okay? Day 1 is really easy. Day 2, not so hard. Day 3 and 4 suck. Okay, you are going to have the worst cravings. You're going to want to eat all the sugar. You're going to want to have all the wine. It's just how that detox process works. So if you allow yourself the ability to eat an abundance of whole foods throughout the next week with less emphasis on hitting your macros, you're going to come out of this a lot more successful. So again, I just wanted to jump on and encourage you guys on day 1. I know there's so many of you that are not even in my program, but are starting your own journey today. And I want you to really think about that word consistency. I want you to wake up and live that word every single day. I want you to take 2 or 3 things that you can focus on each month to be consistent with. All right. And start out, make them easy. Maybe it is just drinking your water. Maybe it is hitting a step goal. And then build on that. That's what we want to do kind of as we move forward. So I would love to hear in the comments below the things that knock you off track the most, because I really want to help you guys address this kind of the ability to be long-term success. So I'd love to hear scenarios that get you in trouble. I know like weekends are really hard. I know holidays are really hard. I know vacations are really hard. I've really tried to really kind of open up my vacation over the last week, show you everything I'm eating, all of my drinks, what I'm doing in order to create that balance. Because I promise you, you'll feel so much better. And it's effortless, Again, my ability to create some sort of consistency over the last 3 weeks made, coming into this vacation, all inclusive, all the food, all the drink you want, so much easier. Because I had the ability to have the things that looked really delicious and leave them on the plate if they weren't as delicious as they were, and load up on the foods that really kind of impact me. So I'd love to look through your comments and see what are the areas that really kind of tap you up. So someone starts out, again, the weekends. Here's the thing. If you focus on consistency on the weekends and not perfection, you do so much better. The weekends are, going to be a little bit more flexible. My goal is I try to stay really tight during the week to allow myself that extra flexibility on the weekends. And I think you have to constantly tell yourself one meal, one day does not make or break your success. The key to the weekends is even if you do kind of go off the rails, you have to be able to pick yourself back up. If it's brunch, you had a boozy brunch and French toast and all the fun, then the goal would be to pick yourself up back up at dinner. And if that doesn't happen, then it would be to pick yourself up absolutely the next day. Your ability to learn to reset the quickest is what creates that consistency. So that's my biggest thing with regards to the weekends. What to eat on the go. Protein and veggies is what I'm going to be looking for when I'm on the go. I'm going to be looking for big bowls of chili. I'm going to be looking for salads with grilled chicken. I'm going to be looking for, vegetables, stir fries, things like that. So basically, anytime that I'm eating on the go, sit down restaurants are so much easier. You can sit down and get a big thing of protein and vegetables and go light on the carbs, okay? The other thing that I really want to teach you guys over the next, throughout the next year is that carbs are not the enemy. It is the portion in which you eat them in, the timing in which you eat them in. Hopefully you now know that it's important to take a couple of bites of your protein and vegetables first before consuming your carbs. It matters. Don't eat your carbs by yourself. But carbs are not the enemy. I know a ton of you have started, a big old keto diet and you're doing low carb every day. And yeah, you're probably going to crush it over the next 30 days. But I always say, whatever you do to lose weight, you better be prepared to do to keep it off or you'll gain it all back. So living a low carb lifestyle is really challenging. Alcohol. Yeah, alcohol is challenging. Here's the deal. Alcohol does not impact your blood sugar. So there's a plus, unless you're drinking pina coladas or margaritas, sugary margaritas, daiquiris. Had a couple of those this week. But just, vodka, tonic, things like that, they don't negatively impact your blood sugar. So there's a plus. They do impact your caloric intake. So it's about how many do you have? Are you like me and you like 5 or 6 cocktails when you drink? Or are you kind of like someone that can have like one cocktail? That's a plus if you can have one cocktail. They do impact your recovery and sleep. So, with regards to alcohol, it's just not something you can do every night. But you can do it once a week. You can do it twice a week. Okay, there's no benefit to drinking alcohol. Okay, period. I don't care what study you've read. I wish I could get behind it, but there's not. Most likely they're funded by the liquor industry. So again, alcohol is about moderation. And then, the overall metabolic impact. So I think when you understand the impact of alcohol, you're a little bit more choosy. A lot of people are doing dry January, okay? I am all for that. I think it's a great way to test yourself. Like, how do you actually feel when you pull alcohol from your diet? We just went through a real boozy month. Probably the reason why we're all sick, I'm not sick, okay? I'm just going to put that out there. I'm good. Is because we've been living on sugar, carbs, alcohol, cookies, cakes. That's why we have this huge spike in illness right now, okay? It's because we're all at the most unhealthiest place that we are in the year. Think about it. So if you give up alcohol this next month and you really feel how much more rested you are and how better you feel, trust me, you don't want alcohol. Heather says not prepping, not enough time to fix meals during the week. I think that this is key. We all live very busy lives. You've got to have 10 go-to meals, okay? Healthy eating does not require a lot of time and effort if you have some go-to items. Breakfast for dinner, you can get that sucker on the table in 15 minutes. Tacos, you can get that sucker on the table for 15 minutes. Spaghetti, you can get that sucker on the table for 15 minutes. I always say I grew up with 5 meals. Okay, never complain. My mom cooked 5 meals. She hates it when I say that. But really, she did. And I never complained. Like, why do we think we need 30 meals for the week? We don't. We do tacos once a week. We do breakfast once a week. We do chicken stir fry once a week. Keep it simple. If you want variety, add that new meal once a week. Try a new recipe. Maybe it falls into the rotation. Maybe it doesn't. But the other thing is like, I also think that people like Heather are saying, I don't have time to meal prep. My question is, are you eating out all the time? That's one thing. Or are you going home and cooking meals that you think are not healthy? Guys, all foods fit, okay? You can give me any recipe, any meal that you cook for your family, and I will tell you how to make small tweaks to make it work. But anything you cook at home is a step in the right direction, okay? There's so many fast options. The stir-fry kits, you throw some grilled chicken, you get your pre-cooked chicken, you throw in your veggies, you stir-fry it up, you steam your rice. I mean, it's a cop-out, all right? So you've got to go find those quick, easy go-to meals. I hope you do that in Lean, for sure. The weekend beers, late night snacking. This is my issue, okay? So one of my goals for January is no junk after 8 p.m., okay? So in November, December, I said no food after 8 p.m. because, I practice intermittent fasting. And so my eating window is typically 12 to 8, but I'm also a very intuitive eater. If I'm hungry at 10, I'm eating. I teach my clients that a 12-hour fast is the best fast. Anything beyond that is just gravy, okay, on top. So I'm always aiming for at least a 12-hour fast. So some days I fast for 12 hours. Some days I fast for 16, 14. There's a lot of flexibility in that. And when you learn that these strategies are not rigid, they're not black and white, you don't have to fast for 16 hours every day to make progress. Again, that's when you have the ability to create consistency. So November, December, my goal was to not eat after 8 p.m. Completely failed, sucked at it, okay? And the reason why I set that goal is because typically I'm like Peyton. I don't eat carrots at 9 o'clock at night, okay? If I'm looking for food at 9 o'clock at night, it's a salty snack, it's a sweet snack, it's an unhealthy choice. So initially my thought was, I'm just gonna make that a goal, no eating after 8 p.m., but I failed. So this month, my goal is no junk after 8 p.m. So if I'm sitting at 9 o'clock and I am overwhelmingly hungry, guess what? I'm gonna eat, but I'm gonna have an apple with peanut butter. I'm gonna have maybe a little bit more grilled chicken. I'm gonna have a protein shake, a protein bar. I'm gonna have something that's actually gonna nourish my body, fill me up, and keep me full. And we're gonna see how that goal goes. I bet you, because I'm allowing myself to eat something after 8 p.m., I will end up eating less after 8 p.m. because guess what? I don't want an apple with peanut butter at 9 o'clock. I want the popcorn. So it's really crazy how your mind works. Again, when you overly restrict yourself, it only lasts for so long. And then you end up binging and making bad choices. So sometimes we have to tweak our goals to help us to actually do the thing that we want to do. So I'll keep you posted on that. Chips and salsa, it fits. That's a food that fits. Bored eating and snacking, another one. I work from home. My office is in my kitchen. And so sometimes I am just bored and I want to eat. So, creating intentional habits around those times when you're bored and you want to eat. Maybe it's you're going to read a book, you're going to create a new hobby. Maybe it's you're going to take a quick walk. Maybe it's you're going to journal, you're going to do some gratitude, some affirmation. So make it a conscious effort that when you find yourself sitting there bored and wanting to eat, that you actively do something different and see how it works. I also think that people that snack a lot don't eat enough, okay? Under eating leads to snacking. I'm a real advocate of just 3 solid meals. You see me when I eat huge meals. I need a lot of volume. I need a lot of veggies. I need a lot to fill me up. And I find that people just overly restrict. Either they're eating, 300-400 calories at lunch. No, lunch should be 500, 600, 700 calories. And then that leads to increased hunger. So maybe focus on eating sufficient amounts at your mealtime. Kemp works a full-time job, jump right into kids at sport. Meal planning is everything now. It's so tough. It is, again, it is about prioritizing what matters the most. And in the Lean program, I do teach you a strategy of how to prep on Sunday. I feel like if you can take an hour and a half on Sunday, it will save you 7 hours throughout the week. And if you create this Sunday habit, again, you succeed. I know when, I fail to prep, I plan to fail, so it goes true. And here's the thing, what you have to realize is that every week is not going to be perfect. Every week you're not going to get that prep in. And so therefore, just because you didn't get the prep in doesn't mean you get to eat like an asshole for 7 days. Then that's when you really make an effort to work with what you've got. And anytime that you're working with what you've got, start with protein and vegetables, okay? And then fill in the rest with all the other stuff. So Someone says my period. Oh, Lordy, I get it. Let me tell you, the biggest strategy for that time before your period is to overeat, and eat an abundance of whole foods. This is my strategy for people that have a lot of sugar cravings. If you crave sugar, typically when I work with a client, they're like, I crave sugar. I ask, well, what about eating fruit? Oh no, I can't have fruit. It's got too many carbs and sugars. And I'm like, but you're not eating fruit, but you're eating 2 pounds of chocolate. Well, what if we switch the 2 pounds of chocolate to 2 pounds of fruit? Trust me, the macro impact is much better. The overall impact is much better. The vitamins and minerals are much better. So if you are one of those really sugar cravers right before your period, load up on fruit. Eat a ton of it. Eat as much as you want. Eat as much food as you want, but make it whole foods. That's the key. Your hunger is going to be high this week, okay? Tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday, your hunger is going to be high, regardless of your macros. And this is me speaking to my clients. Eat, okay? Eat all the whole foods. And when I talk about whole foods, I'm just talking about like fruits and vegetables and protein and, those real foods that grow in the ground, foods that have a mother. Like load up on those. Eat double, eat triple what you need. Healthy fats, because I promise you, it's just like with your period. Once you get over it, you're good, okay? And you didn't sabotage yourself by eating a bag of, chips or eating a bag of chocolate, all right? So again, I think sometimes we overly restrict our intake, and then we allow ourselves we overly restrict our intake of whole foods, good foods, and then it turns into binging on bad foods. So don't do that. Vacations, here's the thing about vacations. It's a vacation, okay? Like I didn't come into this vacation thinking I'm going to be perfect and I'm going to show, I'm going to do this. It's literally like live your best life, all right? But once you get to the point in your health journey that you feel good, you're vibrant. Kimmy, I love because she always uses that word. She talks about feeling vibrant. Guess what? You don't want to eat a bunch of junk, okay? You don't want to live on junk. And I think it takes a while to kind of get to that point. But if you go on vacation and you eat like an asshole for 7 days, so be it, okay? Know that whatever you gain, I typically gain about 5 pounds on vacation. It's all inflammation. So it's really your ability to come back and get back on track. So, people get really worked up about vacation, but ultimately that's what a vacation is. It should be a break from the grind, from your life. It should be a time to relax and enjoy yourself and do everything that it takes to do that, but get ready to come back and reset. So don't freak out about vacations, not eating enough protein. This is key, guys. You're going to hear me talk a lot about protein in the new year because I've worked with thousands of clients, okay? Over 50,000 people have gone through the Lean program. And I can tell you, I'm not an advocate of a high protein diet. I know it sounds like I'm an advocate of a high protein diet, but I'm not. I'm an advocate of a protein adequate diet. And the problem is that the nutritional noise out there is so muddled around protein that you guys think it's bad for you. You're scared to eat animals. You don't know how to hit your protein with plants. You don't know what to believe, but I'm here to tell you, protein is vital, and as you age, your protein needs increase. And the protein goals that I set for my clients in my Lean program are extremely conservative, okay? And most of them don't hit it. So I can tell you, your number one reason why you're not losing weight is because you are not optimizing your protein. That's been another one of my goals. Over the last 3 months, I did not track, but I did consciously track my protein intake. And my goal this month is to get 120 grams of protein a day. That's my goal, not your goal. Everyone's goal is different. And I also made it a goal because just being arbitrary about hitting your protein goal, is not good enough. So for me, because I've tracked long enough, I know the days I drink a protein shake, I hit my protein goal. The days I don't, I don't. So in order to hit my protein goal, one of my things that I need to check is a daily protein shake. And that's why I do it. And boo, don't come at me if you don't want to drink shakes. That's you. I'm me. All right? You find a way to hit your protein. It's how I hit my protein. And I stay lean and I feel good. Okay? So again, my strategies don't work for everybody. But getting your protein is key. The biggest advice I can give for you, Jamie, is take your protein goal, know it, Divide it by 3. Aim for that at each meal. Okay, so my protein goal is 120 grams. If I eat 3 times a day, I need 40 grams at a meal. If I clock my lunch and it's only 20 grams, it's gonna be hard to make that up. So making sure you get those little blocks of protein at each meal. I actually do 30 grams because I typically do 2 40 grams and then 1 30 gram. With maybe like a little snack because my protein shake is 30 grams. So, but that's the easiest way. Take your protein goal, divide it by 3, aim at that with your 3 major meals. Not planning my meals. Meal planning is key, guys. Again, but simplify it. Okay, guess what? You know what the best lunch to take? Okay, let me tell you. Go to the store, buy 5 bag salads, get a rotisserie chicken, weigh out your, 100 grams, however many grams of protein you need for chicken, put it in a baggie, grab one each day. There you go. Guess what? That's meal planning. Like, keep it simple. Make a big batch. This is the strategy that we use in Lean. You make a big batch of chicken salad and you eat it for the next 4 days, okay? You make a big bowl of soup. We're really big into soups right now with it being the colder months, and you eat on it all week. All right, simplify meal planning. Then you only got to figure out about lunch. Figure out what dinner's going to be. So simplify that lunch process and make it as simple as possible. Someone says, I have 3 kids, cooking for me and making things that they would eat too, such a struggle. It ain't going to happen. All right, and again, what are your kids eating that you can't eat? All right. If you think that you're going to make 2 meals, Mom, yes, you will for 4 weeks, but you will not for the rest of your life. So again, I feel like any meal that you're making your kid, it can work for you. For example, again, every week we have tacos. If it's a low carb day, I do a big taco salad and my kids eat tacos in the shell. Every week we do spaghetti. I bet you do too. Kids love tacos. Kids love spaghetti. If it's a low carb day, I do edamame noodles for myself. It's really easy for me to boil up a little extra noodles for me. I'll do spaghetti squash, zoodles. I'm making one extra thing for me. And then I boil their pasta and we both eat the medium marinara sauce. Breakfast for dinner. I'll do a veggie omelet and they're doing eggs, bacon, and biscuits. So there's no reason why you have to be cooking 2 meals, okay? And if you're doing that, then you are not seeing that all foods fit, okay? It's like the girl that I always bring her up because she's like, I made chicken tetrazzini for my family and I didn't know what to eat, so I just didn't eat. And I'm like, what's wrong with chicken tetrazzini? Chicken noodles, a nice sauce, add some steamed broccoli. That's a meal, guys. And again, when you overthink whole foods and when you overthink nutrition is when you fail and you give up. And if you're cooking your kids chicken nuggets and french fries every night, we're going to struggle. But you could do chicken nuggets and a salad, chicken nuggets and steamed broccoli, So, again, stop thinking that the meals that you cook for your family are not good enough for you because I promise you they are. I promise you they are. Snacking at midnight, go to bed. That's the key. A lot of times, again, the late night snacking, it's just you're tired. You need to go to bed. And that's, one of my goals is my TV off by 11. I'm a night owl, love to, unwind and watch Bravo. Yellowstone, I know that was on yesterday. I missed it. But TV off at 11, try to get in bed, and go to bed, get out of the kitchen, that's the biggest thing for snacking, not finishing your plate. Yes, we all grew up in the Clean Your Plate Club. It's the worst thing that our parents did for us. Do not do this to your children, okay? Let them eat what they want, all right? That may be 1 bite and maybe 2 bites. Children are more apt at understanding their hunger cues than adults are because we all grew up in the Clean Your Plate Club. So maybe it is make it a goal to not clean your plate. Maybe it's make it a goal to leave something on your plate. Otherwise, I would say if you kind of fall into that Clean Your Plate Club, use a smaller plate. Yes, so trick the brain. Use a smaller plate, you'll get yourself more appropriate smaller portions, and then you can clean your plate. Listen, I clean my plate, okay? It is very rare that I leave anything on my plate just because I require a lot of food. Illness is hard, guys. Illness, everything goes out the door. You focus on feeling well, rest, sunlight, vitamin D, hydration, bone broth. You got to do what you got to do when you're ill. And then once you get back, work to really strengthen your immune system. Meal planning is a lot for everybody. Can you help us with portion control? I'm tracking macros now and sometimes still hungry after protein, carbs, and veggies. Keep eating, Tiffany. I think sometimes you got to listen to your body. Those of you that are going to MyFitnessPal to get your, macros, I promise you it will have you under eating. If you're only allowed 12, 13, 1400 calories, you're under eating. If you eat a good solid meal and you're still hungry, you're under eating, okay? And that's why I say eat more, okay? Eat more. Now, a couple of things that I will suggest with regards to portion control. Number one, slow down, okay? Sometimes we eat so quickly. It takes about 20 minutes for our stomach to send that signal to our brain that we're full. Number two, chew your food. I challenge you. This is another one of my Kimmy tricks that she always talks about, but something that I did with my patients back in the hospital. Take small bites and chew your food, okay? That will help you slow down. Try to make your meals last 15 to 20 minutes. I promise you, if you slow down, thoroughly chew your food, you'll probably find that at the end of the meal, you are more full and satisfied than if you eat very quickly, all right? But otherwise, if you are chronically hungry and you have a balanced, protein sufficient, healthy fats, high fiber diet, and you're like on a macro trend, your macros are too low. You need more. Eat more, I promise you. I'm realizing how to stop when you're actually full. Yeah, that's the slow down, small bites, chew, chew, chew. That will really help you. Wine to de-stress after work. Find a better way to de-stress. Trust me, it's adding more stress to your life because it's wrecking your recovery. And sleep is really where you get the most de-stress. So, if you're using alcohol on a nightly basis to unwind, trust me, I get it. Make it a goal to only use it 5 days a week. Okay, that's the other thing that I want you guys to really think about as you're moving into these new goals. If you're walking 5,000 steps a day and you think you're going to start walking 10,000 steps every day, you're setting yourself up to fail. If you're drinking 7 days a week and you think you're going to do dry January, you're setting yourself up to fail. Sometimes we have to assess where are we in our journey and what would be better. Okay, so if you're drinking 7 days a week, it would be better to only drink 5. Okay, if you're taking only 5,000 steps a day, it would be better to take 6. All right, so again, don't set yourself up to fail because my goals are not your goals. But learning ways to manage stress, again, the things that we've gone through over the last 2 years, I believe, I see it in the people around me, I see it in myself. People are drinking more than we ever have, turning to alcohol more than we ever have. And it's, it's something that we should look at. Weekends, because I don't have a routine, create a weekend routine. Make that your consistency, Create things that you can do every day. So just, for example, it's really easy for me to drink a shake Monday through Friday. Weekends a little bit harder, but I do it, So it's like, stop looking at weekday versus weekends, find those habits that you can be consistent. I tend to do better with my water intake Monday through Friday versus Saturday and Sunday, but it's my goal. I have to I want a gold star, so I do it, so find those things that you can be consistent with in the weekend. Working, not taking time for lunch, just heating up frozen meals, eating at my desk. Hey, I love frozen meals. I've got a whole thing coming out about frozen meals. Make sure you're looking for the frozen meals that have at least 25 to 30 grams of protein. That's the key. There's tons of frozen meals out there. That's another great meal prep trick. Okay, I always keep about 4 or 5 frozen meals. I love the Healthy Choice. I can't think of it off the top of my head. The Power Bowls. They've got these new double Power Bowls that have about 30 grams of protein in it. That's what I like. If I have one with 20 grams of protein, guess what? I'm eating 2 of them. But I keep those in my freezer for my gal cooking for her children. If it's a grilled cheese and tomato soup night, which, again, that's a great night. Like, that fits, you can make it fit. You probably need to add some chicken or something to get the protein up. But if it's maybe they're eating pizza out or something, I'll grab a frozen meal and heat it up for me. It's simple, it's easy. So don't beat yourself up over frozen meals. All foods fit. I think that's a great strategy. Having a partner who loves to cook but has a totally different idea of what is healthy than I do is going to trip me up. Yeah, it is hard. It definitely is hard when you have a partner that is not aligned with your health goals. But I do feel like, you can kind of make concessions, again, maybe you add a big thing of steamed veggies or something. I mean, veggies are kind of like the thing that I always add to kind of give me the volume that I need to maybe offset some of the discretionary choices. But yeah, I mean, and also maybe it's like, hey, I'm going to cook once a week and here's my healthy meal. We're going to do the P.F. Chang lettuce wraps. We're going to do the, stuffed peppers, introduce maybe healthier recipes that you can kind of intermingle with the ones that you're used to using. I never like cooking and meal planning. Gives me a total mental block. Yeah, so again, you need 10 meals. That's all you need is 10 meals, guys, okay? So in the new year, I encourage you to write down 10 dinners that you love, your family loves. There's your meal prep, okay? Every week, you rotate between 3 or 4 of them. And then the next week, you do the other 3 or 4. And then the next week, you come back. If you're like me, you're having tacos, you're having breakfast, and you're having pasta 3 days every week. And guess what? Nobody complains about it, okay? The other meals are the ones that we create a little variety and do things different. But again, like I feel like people are always looking for meal plans and complicated recipes, and it doesn't work in the long run. We are too damn busy to be dealing with recipes with 20 ingredients, okay, that take an hour and a half to cook. We've got to keep it simple. So make whole food simple. Should skinny fat drop carbs? Should skinny fat drop carbs? I don't think anybody has to eat no carbs, okay? Carbs are important for your thyroid. They're important for your adrenals. They're important for muscle growth. Nobody should be eating no carbs, okay? At least in the long run. So skinny fat, what that means is you're very lean, but you have a high percentage of body fat. Needs to get in the gym and needs to eat more protein. Help stop snacking at night. I know the late night snacking is hard. So again, shift it, okay? If you tend to eat shit at night, then allow yourself to eat whatever you want at night, but it's got to be healthy. Apple with peanut butter. It's got to be carrots and ranch. It's got to be, healthier foods. And I promise you, over time, when it's like, okay, I can eat whatever I want late at night, but it needs to be something healthy, you won't eat it. You won't crave it as much. Oh, thanks. Love my dress. I can't recall what your percentages for low carbs should be. You'll find that in the portal, in the group. Very little support from family. That's hard, guys. I get that. The people that you surround yourself with, your environment that you're in, it does matter. And my heart goes out to people that are in those scenarios because I've dealt with a lot of people that struggle. It's like the people around them don't care. They're fine eating like shit, being obese. It's not on their, priority list, yet you are looking to be better. And those temptations are really hard, especially when they're sitting in your face. And then especially when people are probably mocking you, for trying to be healthier. So I would encourage you, PFD, find a friend, find a buddy, find an accountability partner, find the lean community, find someone that you can turn to when you need that support, that you can be accountable for, that someone that can cheer you on, that can lift you up when you're feeling down. It matters. It matters. I feel very blessed to be surrounded with friends and family that are very like-minded, If I say, hey guys, come over for Friday, I ain't drinking and I'm making a healthy meal, they're like freaking on their way, yes, I'm there. So it matters. So look for a partner. I bet you can find someone in your life that will help support you. I agree. I try to focus on plants. Yes, I love plants. What are your favorite protein bars? I'm obsessed with the One bars. They're my favorite. The cake is my favorite. Why do you suggest electrolyte water? Electrolytes are your missing key to feeling your best. When you go to your doctor and your doctor tells you drink 100 ounces of water and you go home and you drink 100 ounces of water, you feel like shit. You could actually die, okay? Too much water is actually bad for you. Too much electrolyte water? No. Okay, so electrolyte water is going to add back the sodium, potassium, and magnesium that you need to feel your best. It is probably the one thing that other than protein, that I really hound on with my lean clients, where they come back and say, it changed my life, with regards to how I feel, my energy levels, my migraines, my restless leg, my sleep. And it's so simple. Electrolytes are everywhere. My favorite bars are the H24. I've never heard of those. I've noticed the snacking on days I restrict eating or have just a really long fast. Yeah, again, I feel like when you overly restrict, you snack. I love this, learning whole foods, okay? Because I do talk about whole foods, eat a lot of whole foods. And to me, like, chips are not whole foods, okay? Crackers are not whole foods. Pretzels are not whole foods. Anything that has like multiple ingredients and then they mush it into something to create something is not a whole food, okay? But like a frozen meal, that's packed with protein, vegetables, maybe rice, that's whole foods. All right. Vegetables are whole foods. Protein is whole foods. So if you ever have a question, please reach out to me. Amanda, do you think this is a whole food? Yes. I'll help you out. Yes, no. But again, I think people are like, oh, chicken tetrazzini is not a whole food. Pasta Alfredo is not a whole food. Yeah, it is. All right. It's just a matter of how you balance it out. Do you have a big chunk of chicken with a big chunk of broccoli and a little bit of noodles with all the sauce? That's whole foods. Now, if you sit down to a bunch of noodles with sauce, you're lacking protein, you're lacking fiber. That's not whole foods, okay? So maybe it's more of like that ratio. Where's your protein? Where's your fiber? Where's your fats? That's what you want to look for, okay? That's the 75% of your plate. 25% should be the other, okay? The other. This is one of your best videos ever. I've done 2 sessions lean. Oh, thank you guys. Yay! All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up because I don't want this to get too long. But ask your questions in the comments below. I know there's a lot of them coming in. Linda's Chicken is the best. A lot of nighttime snacking. Yes. I love fruit. What's the best way to incorporate it? The best way to incorporate fruit is with a protein or a fat. Okay. Now, again, if you struggle with sugar cravings, by golly, eat all the fruit you want, okay? The most low glycemic fruits are berries, anything with airy, cherry, blackberry, raspberry, strawberry. Those are your best fruits. They're the lowest in glycemic, they're the highest in fiber, they're the highest in nutrients. So load up on the airies, okay? But all fruit fits, all right? Now, if you want to take it a step further and you want to be like, well, how can I make fruit the best? Pair it with a protein or a fat. Apple with peanut butter, Anytime you eat carbohydrates, it creates a really high sugar spike. But when you pair it with proteins, fats, and fiber, the sugar response is much less, all right? And guys, remember, insulin is the number 1 fat storing hormone in the body. So anytime that we can manage our insulin levels, it works, yes. I'm working from home. How do you manage that? It is a challenge. But I really try to just, again, the thing that I found myself doing at home is I was doing a lot of grazing, snacking. And so now I sit down and I eat one big meal like around 11 or 12, and then I eat another big meal around 2 or 3, and then I eat my last meal at dinner. So I still eat 3 meals a day. I talk about eating 3 big meals a day. People are like, wait a minute, don't you fast? Don't you skip breakfast? I just eat my big 3 meals most of the time between about 11 and 8. So my snack, your afternoon snack, is my second meal. And so that's really kind of helped to kind of do that. So, all right, guys, love this. Tons of questions. I'm going to be on a lot of lives this week because I can. Yes. So save all those questions for my next live call. I'm excited. I want to hear from you. I want to support you guys. Happy day 1. Bye.